Have you ever wondered, in a world full of social smiles and glamorous appearances, how much of it truly reflects a person's real self? We constantly encounter meticulously crafted masks, and distinguishing between sincerity and mere performance is no easy task. However, in the spirit of Stoicism, the search for truth does not lie in outward extravagance, but in the small, often overlooked details. You don't need to be a psychologist to decode a person. There are 3 simple yet powerful signals, like a key that can unlock the true character of anyone. We won't dive into complex theories. Instead, we'll focus on everyday behaviors, the seemingly minor actions that reveal the deepest truths about a person's nature. Imagine being able to see beyond words and smiles, developing the ability to read someone just by observing them. This skill not only helps you understand others better, but also takes you on a journey of self-discovery, enabling you to make wiser choices about the relationships in your life. In this video, we will explore these 3 key signals together. Once you grasp them, you'll start seeing people around you in a completely new light. You may even uncover surprising insights about yourself. Get ready, because what you're about to hear might change the way you connect with the world. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss upcoming videos on personal and mental growth. Our content is designed to shift your perspective on life, broaden your horizons, and bring positive challenges your way. With that in mind, let's dive into the first principle. Principle 1. How a person treats those who cannot give anything in return. To truly understand a person, observe how they interact with those who are often overlooked in society, people whose status and roles are frequently disregarded: receptionists, security guards, janitor, drivers, or anyone doing a quiet, unnoticed job. This is an unspoken test of character that few pay attention to, because in these situations people have little motivation to perform. The politeness and kindness shown here usually come from genuine sincerity rather than an effort to impress others. Ask yourself these questions when observing. Does that person offer a friendly smile or a sincere greeting to these individuals? Or do they just pass by with an indifferent, even contemptuous look? When given a small request, such as asking for directions, are they willing to take the time and patience to help? Or do they appear irritable and annoyed? How do they talk? What is their tone and body language when interacting with these people? Is there real respect, politeness, and genuine consideration? These seemingly small, fleeting moments of interaction are, in fact, micro-expressions that reveal a great deal about a person's empathy and compassion. A truly compassionate person will treat everyone with kindness, regardless of their position in society. They understand that everyone deserves respect and recognition, and they demonstrate this through small yet meaningful actions. On the other hand, those who tend to look down on or mistreat people they consider beneath them often have deeper issues with confidence and self-esteem. They may feel the need to belittle others to elevate themselves, an action driven by insecurity and inferiority. The rudeness, impatience, and contempt they exhibit are a mirror reflecting the dark corners of their soul. It is important to remember that politeness is not just an inborn trait, but a habit that is cultivated and practiced. It requires self-awareness, consciousness, and continuous effort to improve oneself. A polite person does not just behave well towards others when it benefits them. They always maintain an attitude of respect and kindness toward everyone, even when no one is watching. That is the true measure of a person's worth. Imagine walking into a luxurious restaurant and observing an elegant man. The way he interacts with those around him will reveal a lot about his character. With those he considers important, the restaurant manager, the sommelier, business partners, or high-status friends, he displays warmth, respect, and friendliness. He shakes hands, calls them by name, enthusiastically discusses cuisine and wine, demonstrating knowledge and politeness. However, when interacting with those he deems unimportant, the wait staff, kitchen assistants, or janitors, his attitude changes completely. He may only nod or say a few curt words, barely acknowledging them, or even showing impatience and complaining if something is not to his liking. When leaving the restaurant, he may not say thank you to any staff members and leave his table in a mess. This clear difference in treatment reveals that he values status and personal gain over genuine respect and kindness. He is only polite to those who can bring him benefits, while disregarding those who cannot. The lack of empathy and compassion is evident in how he treats those in weaker positions. This example illustrates an important truth. Sometimes how a person treats those they consider unimportant is the most accurate measure of their true character. A sincere and empathetic person will always show respect to everyone, regardless of their social status or position. They understand that each individual has their own value and deserves to be treated fairly. Small gestures such as a sincere thank you, a friendly smile, or a look of empathy can bring joy and warmth to the recipient. These small actions, though seemingly insignificant, reflect noble human qualities and create a connection between people. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Character is more important than reputation." He emphasized that instead of seeking recognition from others, we should focus on living according to our own moral values and virtues. This includes treating everyone with kindness and respect, regardless of status or circumstance. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, also advised, "Play your role well." Each of us has a role to play in life, and fulfilling that role well, including treating others well, is essential to achieving inner peace. Psychologists have also reached a similar conclusion. How a person treats those they consider unimportant is the most accurate barometer of their true nature. This is because, in these interactions, the motivation to perform to impress others often diminishes, and people tend to reveal their true selves. For instance, psychologist Leon Festinger, with his famous social comparison theory, 1954, pointed out that people tend to evaluate themselves and others through comparison. When an individual feels the need to put others down to elevate themselves, it is often a sign of deep-seated insecurity and a need for artificial validation. They seek greatness by diminishing others instead of making a genuine effort to improve themselves. Furthermore, the shocking Stanford prison experiment of 1971, conducted by psychologist Philip Zimbardo, demonstrated the frightening power of circumstances and social roles in shaping behavior. When given authority, even the most ordinary people can become cruel and abuse their position of power over those weaker than them. This shows that how a person treats those who cannot retaliate or repay them may be influenced by changes in their character when they are in a position of power. In other words, power can reveal a person's true nature, sometimes very different from what they show in normal situations. While observing others, don't forget to look at yourself. How do you treat those who cannot do anything for you? Do you ignore them or treat them with contempt? Evaluating your own actions not only helps you grow but also allows you to understand others more deeply. Ultimately, how a person treats those who cannot repay them is one of the strongest and most consistent indicators of true character. If you truly want to understand someone, pay attention to these small yet meaningful details. They often reveal far more than any long speech ever could. And remember, kindness and respect are the most powerful expressions of who we truly are. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Nothing truly belongs to us." This reminds us that everything in life is temporary, and the way we treat others is what truly lasts. Live with kindness and respect, for that is the most valuable legacy we can leave behind. Principle 2. See if they keep their promises. A promise is not just a polite gesture, it is the foundation of integrity and respect. In Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius once said, "Say less and do more." This emphasizes that the value of a promise does not lie in its scale, but in its sincerity and the ability to fulfill it. Even the smallest commitments reflect a person's character. Imagine someone promises to help you prepare for an important presentation. If they arrive on time, help you practice, and provide useful feedback, you will feel reassured and trust them more. But if they promise and then forget, or come up with an excuse at the last minute to avoid showing up, you will feel betrayed, even if it is a minor matter. These seemingly insignificant actions can build or break a relationship. Daily actions can reveal a lot about a person's reliability. Are they punctual for meetings? Do they complete their tasks on time? Or do they frequently make excuses to justify their delays? Epictetus once taught, "We cannot control the world, but we can control our own honor." This means that no matter how many obstacles arise, a person of integrity will find a way to uphold their commitments. A study by psychologist Robert Cialdini on the principle of commitment and consistency found that when people publicly make a promise, they tend to keep it to maintain their self-image in the eyes of others. Cialdini discovered that individuals who write down their goals or commitments are far more likely to achieve them than those who simply verbalize them. This explains why people who frequently break promises not only lose the trust of others, but also weaken their own self-esteem. Keeping promises is not just easy when everything is going well, it becomes even more crucial when facing difficulties. A person with a strong moral foundation will always strive to fulfill their commitments, while an irresponsible person may find endless excuses to withdraw. Ask yourself, when faced with challenges, do they look for solutions or do they simply give up? The way they respond to adversity will give you a deeper understanding of their true nature. Another study by psychologist Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel laureate in economics, revealed that people tend to judge others based on their most recent experiences with them. If someone keeps their promises in difficult situations, they will be seen as trustworthy, even if they have made mistakes in the past. Conversely, if they break their promises when things get tough, their credibility can suffer greatly, no matter how many good deeds they have done before. No one is perfect, and sometimes unavoidable circumstances prevent us from keeping our promises. But what truly matters is how a person handles such situations. If they acknowledge their mistake, offer a sincere explanation, and actively seek to make amends, it shows emotional maturity. On the other hand, if they evade responsibility, blame others, or downplay the consequences of breaking a promise, it is a sign of disrespect not only toward others, but also toward their own honor. To evaluate the reliability of others, first ask yourself, do you keep the promises you make to yourself? Do you follow through on the personal goals you set? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not just talk about moral principles, live by them." A person who maintains self-discipline is more likely to be seen as reliable by others because they understand the importance of commitment. Imagine you have a close friend named James. You both join a charity project, and James enthusiastically takes on the responsibility of recruiting volunteers. He promises to send a list of registered participants within a week. If James keeps his word, you will receive a detailed list with notes and contact information. He may even proactively reach out to each volunteer to ensure they are ready to participate. This would demonstrate that James is responsible and trustworthy. However, if a week passes and you still have not received any information, and when you ask, James simply makes excuses like "I've been too busy lately," you may feel disappointed. If this pattern continues, your trust in James will gradually fade. Eventually, you might have to find volunteers yourself, and your friendship could be affected. This is a clear example of how breaking promises can weaken relationships. Keeping promises is not about perfection, it is about consistency. Observing how a person manages their commitments, from small things like being on time and meeting deadlines to larger decisions, will help you understand their true character. Remember, keeping promises not only strengthens relationships, but also lays the foundation for personal growth. Because in the end, what truly defines a person's honor is the consistency between their words and their actions. Principle 3. Observe how they react to difficulties. Life is inherently a series of challenges and hardships. No one can avoid difficulties and failures along the way. The important thing is not whether we fall, but how we rise after each fall. The way a person reacts to adversity reveals their true nature, whether they are strong and resilient or weak and irresponsible. The great Stoic philosophers always emphasize that hardships themselves are not what we should fear. Rather, it is our reaction to them that determines everything. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When faced with adversity, Strong-willed individuals do not allow themselves to be consumed by negative emotions for too long. They may feel sad or disappointed, but they quickly regain their composure and begin analyzing the situation. Instead of complaining about fate or blaming circumstances, they focus on identifying the root cause of the problem. They see failure as a valuable lesson and opportunity to reassess themselves, evaluate their strategies, and learn from their experiences. Strong individuals do not fear failure. Instead, they see it as an inevitable part of growth and development. Epictetus once taught, "It is not what happens to you that harms you, but how you react to it." They are willing to face challenges, take risks, and persistently pursue their goals until the end. They may stumble many times, but each time they rise, they become stronger and wiser. Not only do they learn from their own failures, but they also observe and absorb lessons from the successes and failures of others. For them, difficulties are not the end, they are motivation to rise, prove themselves, and achieve success. On the other hand, weak or irresponsible individuals tend to react negatively when facing difficulties. They easily become discouraged, give up, and drown in negative emotions such as anger, resentment, or despair. Instead of confronting the problem head-on, they find ways to avoid it, blame others, or use circumstances as excuses for their failures. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as fire tempers gold, but the weak will be crushed under pressure." These individuals are unwilling to take responsibility for their mistakes and resist learning from negative experiences. When faced with challenges, they often seek help from others, not to solve the problem together, but to escape their own responsibilities. Remember, adversity does not define your destiny, it is how you respond to it that shapes who you are. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control everything that happens, but we can control how we react. Do not let hardships defeat you. Instead, learn to face them with resilience and composure. Every failure is a step forward if you can draw lessons from it. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the obstacle is not in the way, it is the way. Therefore, turn every challenge into an opportunity to strengthen yourself, becoming resilient and unshakable in the face of life's storms. And so we have reached the end of our journey in exploring human nature through the lens of Stoicism. We have seen how observing three simple things, how a person treats those less fortunate, how they face adversity, and the consistency between their words and actions can provide deep insights into their true character. Remember, these are not just abstract philosophical concepts, they are practical tools that you can apply in your daily life. Start paying attention, not just to what people say, but to what they do, especially when they think no one is watching. You might be surprised by what you discover, not only about others but also about yourself. Stoicism is not just about understanding the world, it is about living a better life. By cultivating these virtues within ourselves, we become the kind of people we admire, the kind of people others can trust. So step out into the world, observe with wisdom, and strive for integrity in everything you do. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on Stoicism. And let me know in the comments which of these three observations resonated with you the most. I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep living a virtuous life.